Hi, it's Steve from PartSelect. Today we're going to show you how to change the drain pump on your washer, and it's a really easy job. All we're going to need is a 1/4" nut driver, a 5/16" nut driver, a flat blade screwdriver, and a pair of pliers. Let me show you how we do it. Now the first thing we'll need to do before we begin this repair is to disconnect the power to the washer. So simply pull the plug, and then we're going to pull the washer away from the wall enough that we can actually tilt it back. It's easier to remove the bottom access panel if you can elevate the front of the washer some. So pull it forward and then just take a couple of 2x4 blocks and set them in underneath where the front legs would rest on them. And that'll give us access to the 3/4" hex head screws that secure that bottom access panel in place. And once we've removed those screws, you can tilt it out on the bottom and then let it drop down away from the main front panel. There's a couple of locator pins there that will fit into a receptacle on the bottom of the front panel. Now we can set that aside. Now with the access panel removed, we now have access to the pump. But before we take it out, we want to drain whatever water may be left in the bottom of the tub or in the hoses. So with the container placed under the button trap, we'll turn that counterclockwise, and you may need to put a adjustable wrench on that to get it started because it'll be fairly tight. And just loosen it enough, let any water drain out until you fill your container, tighten it back up until you have it completely drained. Then you can replace it. And now we'll remove the clamps that secure the inlet hose to the pump and the drain hose outlet. So with a pair of pliers, we'll simply reach in and squeeze those clamps together and then just slide the clamp farther up the hose. Once you have the clamps pushed back far enough, you can actually remove the hoses. And again, there may be a little bit of water remaining in those hoses, so keep an old towel handy there that we can sop that up with. And once both hoses are removed, we'll take a flat blade screwdriver, and as that pump sits in there, there's a little retaining flap on the right hand side of it. We're just going to lift up on that flap with a screwdriver and then pull the pump a little bit to the right. Once we've released the tab, then we can pull that pump away from the base, and we can take it out far enough that we can disconnect the wire harness on the end. Simply depress the locking tab, release the wires from the clamp on the side of it, and then remove the harness and discard the old pump. Now the new pump comes with a new clamp for the inlet hose to the back of the button trap. So we'll take the old squeeze clamp or spring type clamp off of the hose first. You may need to use pliers to compress that enough to slide it off. We can discard that spring clamp, and then we'll slide the new clamp on, keeping in mind that we want to be able to access the end of it with a nut driver. So we just slide that over the hose. And push it on there far enough that we'll be able to stretch the hose over the inlet to the pump. Next, we'll reconnect the wire harness. Make sure it locks in place. We can fold that shield down over the harness and route the wires around the little clip on the side, and then we can position the pump into the base. We'll lift up on that little rubber flap long enough that we can set it down in position and then push it to the left so it's all the way over, and then we'll force that rubber flap to lock it in place. Next, we'll reposition the inlet and outlet hoses. Make sure they're fully seated on the pump before we tighten the clamps. Now the new clamp requires a 5/16 nut driver to tighten it. So make sure that we've got that hose pulled fully on there and the clamp in the proper position. Now we're ready to reinstall the front panel. So we'll line up the locating pins, tilt it into position. Now while holding that in position, we'll put the center screw in first. And keep an upward pressure on that front panel, and that'll make it easier to put the two outside screws in place. Now we're ready to tilt the washer back and remove the two temporary blocks. We can now reconnect the power, and our repair is complete. I told you it was an easy job. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your repair.